Hey guys, Bug Out back here. Now, when it comes to the term prepper, thanks to shows like Doomsday Preppers and a lot of the things that you see on TV, and even maybe some of the crazy stuff you see on YouTube, a lot of people assume that to be a prepper you have to either A, be like paramilitary crazy, or B, be filthy rich so that you can own all the crazy stuff that they have. The reality is that being a prepper doesn't mean that you're going to spend your entire life savings into some crazy underground bunker or some crazy castle that you may never use. That's fine if you can afford that and if that's your passion. I say go for it. If I had the money to do something like that, maybe I would. I don't know. What I want to talk to you guys about, though, is the fact that when it comes to being prepared, being a prepper, in reality it just means being able to be self-sufficient, being able to be prepared for any kind of a disaster, whether it's a natural disaster, civil unrest, whatever the case may be. You need to be able to be prepared. So I'm going to show you that you don't have to be rich. Trust me, I wish I was rich. Everything that I purchase, I try to find as cost effectively as possible and still have good quality, or I make stuff on my own. As you guys might have been able to tell, I live in an apartment, so I don't have the option of some underground bunker or some reinforced castle. So I'm going to show you guys that it doesn't matter where you live. You could be in an apartment, you could be in a trailer, you could be in a regular suburban house. You can still be prepared. Now, another thing on a lot of those prepper shows, they show people who stockpile a bunch of food. Now, I'll admit that absolutely food is extremely important when it comes to surviving any kind of a situation, which is why in my bug out bags I make sure that I keep adequate food supply, and in my house I make sure I keep adequate food supply. Now, how much food do you really need? Well, I guess it really depends on what natural disaster or what kind of disaster scenario you're preparing for. I live in Florida, so I kind of prepare for hurricanes. I lately do kind of wonder about civil unrest as well with the way that I see the world going. But realistically, I try to have at least 6 months worth of food. That's on a long shot. Honestly, I would say I probably typically keep 60 days worth of food, and honestly that really should be enough. In reality, if there was some kind of a disaster that hit that I had to bug in, for example, I honestly after 60 days would be trying to find some way to get the hell out and do something else with my life. I wouldn't want to stay cooped up in a crappy environment for much more than 60 days. So 60 days is typically the amount of food that I have on stock. Could be more, could be less, depends. So I'm going to show you guys my some of the food and what I do to kind of help prepare for that. So again, I live in an apartment, so we don't really have a whole lot of cabinet space. So this here in my kitchen, this is going to be food that I'm readily eating. This is just my normal stockpile of canned food, dry foods, oils, regular cooking stuff, just your basic regular pantry stuff, alright? By the way, one thing a lot of people don't think about when it comes to survival food, but I actually think it's great, is this right here. This is protein powder. Good stuff. It lasts a pretty good while, and let's face it, it's compact and it gives you a ton of protein, way more than beans and other things like that. So like I said, this is my normal stockpile as far as what I'm readily eating. I do have more, and I'll show you that here in a second. By the way, make sure you're rotating your food. You can stockpile food and that's fine, but I rotate my food. I try, you pay attention to the expiration date and try to go within a 6-month mark from the expiration date, because honestly, if it's getting close to that expiration date, it's not going to taste the best. And if you're not in that kind of a situation where you have to make it stretch that long, go ahead and rotate it at 6 months before the expiration date. Something else fairly affordable that you can do to make your own storage food would be getting yourself a dehydrator. My wife actually picked this up for us, the Nesco dehydrator. I don't remember the exact model right now. I'll put it in the description when I get that. But dehydrated food you can make last pretty long. You got to store it properly and put it in with some oxygen absorbers and some moisture absorbers. But this is great for numerous things. Right now I've got some mangoes in there, I've got some bananas, and I'm also doing a strawberry fruit roll-up. So this one's also really efficient. It takes maybe a day for the really wet fruits. We've made beef jerky, and that only took about like 5 or 6 hours, which is actually really super efficient for a dehydrator. So dehydrated food's another way to have good storage food. You can get certain Mylar bags for your dry stuff. You can get the cans We're actually going to be getting into water bath canning as well. But it's just a really simple way to have good tasting, ready to eat, good storage food. So again, I live in an apartment. I don't have the access to be able to put a huge cellar worth of food or a gigantic pantry worth of food. So I make do where I can, which is honestly what all about prepping is all about. So here in the spare bedroom / workout room, we have more storage. So here in our closet, we have a fairly large container that we got pretty cheap at Costco, and this is where we store a lot of our the majority of our storage food. I have sitting on top here, I have a backpack. This isn't my main bug out bag. This is what I've dedicated as my food backpack. I got that from Food Insurance. Awesome company. This actually comes preloaded. The backpack comes preloaded. If you guys didn't see my other video, check it out. 2 weeks worth of food. I actually just ordered some more food, so I'll be getting 4 more weeks worth of dehydrated food from Food Insurance. Alright, so here we got the big tub. Nice heavy duty tub. And this is where I store more food. Right, so we've got I packed in these Mylar bags. If you guys didn't check out that video yet, check out my Mylar bag video. Actually pretty easy. That is mixed nuts. This is white rice. I have an animal, so we have dry cat food. We have more rice in one of these giant tubs. Alright. We've got a ton of canned food. Now I have, of course, human food and cat food, because I need to still be able to feed my animal. So this, I honestly want to be completely full. We're still stockpiling it, we're also rotating it because we actually eat food. So, right now it doesn't look that full. I calculated it, and this is about 47 days worth of canned food. A big thing is, too, guys, when you're getting food, don't get stuff that you're not going to normally eat. Get stuff that still tastes good, that you eat on a regular basis. Because let's face it, if you're in some kind of a disaster scenario and you have to eat canned food, you want to have a little bit of enjoyment, right? You want to be as happy as possible in a crappy situation. So for that, I mean, I have just all kinds of different stuff. We've got, she loves her clam chowder, so we have the clam chowder there. This actually, okay, so I don't eat this on a normal basis because I used to be a huge fatty, and I try to eat as healthy as possible. But what I like about this, what I thought about, is that so many different canned foods are just fruits and veggies. So it's like, how do you get your protein? Your body absolutely has to have a certain amount of protein to function properly. So I said to myself, well, crap, this lasts long. This expires on 10/15, so it lasts a pretty good while, and there's actual meat in there. You know, so this has... where's the protein? 11 grams of protein. Okay, so 11 isn't a ton, but it's more than... That's more stuff like that. It's more than, you know, fruits and veggies are going to be. Over here, just for fun, you know, we have little chicken salad kits. This comes with crackers, your chicken salad even comes with a little spoon, all that good stuff. We have tuna there in packages. And then honey. I like honey because even though there's an expiration date on it, honestly, as long as you get pure honey, this is organic rainforest honey, whatever that is. As long as you get good quality honey, honestly, it'll last almost indefinitely. So I have that just to get some extra calories. I do have some heirloom seeds in case I need to plant anything. I mean, let's face it though, planting stuff takes a long time, so I'm really, really hoping that I don't have to be in that kind of a scenario where it comes to crap, I gotta plant stuff, but be prepared, right? Alright, we got some extra trash bags in there just to pick up the trash. And then, as I was saying earlier, protein. So I have a big thing of protein powder, because that'll last a pretty good while. I have multiple ways to purify water, but I had one of these left over before we switched over to a new type of water filter. So I just kept this last one. This is one of those carbon filters for Brita, so I figure I can make it work if I need to. While I'm in here, I wanted to point out, guys, and sorry for the mess, we're actually reorganizing our bags right now. But there you see I have my main bug out bag there, and then we have the wifey's UTG messenger style. That's her main bag, where she also keeps her concealed carry. And then there's the backpack style. That's actually going to be mostly her car bag. What I want to talk about, guys, is the fact that when it comes to preparing, you really can't be over prepared. I'm actually reorganizing this as well, but I also have a car bag. Because keep in mind, disasters can hit no matter where you are. So I would suggest to have your main go bag that you're going to keep in your house, as well as making sure you have an adequate one in your vehicle. That's just my personal preference, and I'll be doing a review on this particular bag in the near future. And of course, oh so important is going to be water. You want to make sure that you have adequate water storage. Now again, I live in an apartment. I don't have a whole bunch of places that I can keep water. This I don't typically keep outside. I just have it outside for the sake of the video right now. But this is a 7-gallon jug right here. Now what you do want to make sure you're doing, water doesn't really, it takes a while for it to quote-unquote go bad, especially in this kind of a container that's specially made for it. But it can start to kind of break down a little bit over time. So what I would suggest to do is just every 6 months, just put a little water purification, put a couple of water purification tablets in there. With 7 gallons, the 2 pellets aren't going to be enough to completely cure it if it were contaminated, like if this was swamp water. But since these are fresh out the jug, already purified drinking water, putting 2 tablets just kind of helps keep its freshness over time. So I have 7 gallons in here, which honestly won't last terribly long unless I make it stretch. But we also have our water bladders, we have a bunch of water bottles. We would be set, we probably could easily have 20 gallons. Another trick to do is that if there is a disaster coming that you know about, fill up your bathtubs. Now the bathtub water isn't going to be water that you necessarily want to drink. That's mostly going to be in case you need to flush your toilet and there's no running water. You can pour the water into your toilet. If you need to clean anything, if you need to wash something, you're going to use the tub water. Other cool and easy things you can do to prep, no matter where you are, as long as you have some kind of electro outlet, you should be good. These are wall flashlights by Ecolite. They're actually really cool. They're just flashlights that sit in this little charging unit on the side here. And as you see, if there were an emergency and let's say that the power went out, the flashlights will actually come on and illuminate for me, so I can see where they are. So I have one on that side of the wall, and then I have another one on that side. So if power goes out, I don't have to fumble around for a flashlight. I mean, I keep one by my bed anyways, but if I'm in the living room, for example, if I'm doing laundry, whatever the case may be, if the power goes out, those will come on, so I'll be able to see my way, be able to grab a flashlight very easily. So simple, easy, and effective. Also, I strongly believe that everybody should own something similar to this device here. This is a solar powered, obviously you can charge it on the wall unit as well, NOAA weather radio. So this is going to give you any weather alerts, any kind of alerts whatsoever that are going on. And I have this on a mode where if there's some kind of an emergency, it's going to cut on automatically and tell me whether it's a really bad storm. Hope to God there's no like civil unrest, but whatever the case may be, it'll tell me. You can play normal tunes on it too, and it'll interrupt those tunes. And it does have a flashlight. It's not the brightest in the world, but hey, if you need a flashlight, it's right there on your radio. And it's also hand crankable, and you can also put devices in it, like USB devices or DC devices, whatever you might need to charge. So it's very handy. I got this for like 30 bucks on Amazon. Like I said, guys, most of these things that I get are on Amazon, either Amazon or Costco. Honestly, my main 2 places that I shop for my preps. Alright guys, so I hope that I helped show a little bit that you can still be well prepared without being crazy rich, alright? Yes, I own firearms, but I don't own an army worth of them. Yes, I have food and water storage, but I don't have enough to fill up an entire another house. Being prepared doesn't mean you're going to be like those guys on TV and you're going to have these lavish things. Being prepared just means being able to be self-sufficient for you, and you know, if you have a little bit more to be able to give your friends and family, then that's great. If you make a small little community, awesome. Honestly, that's the real essence of survival, is being a community, right? So we want to keep those aspects in there. So I'm going to continue to post videos to help you guys out. If you have questions, please let me know. If you want to suggest videos, please let me know. I mean, obviously there's tons of books out there to give you guys advice, but I love the fact that you guys come to me. I really do appreciate that. And hint, hint, wink, wink, I will be writing a book as well to help you guys out. So for now, as always, be prepared.